Angela Rayner has just been hit with a devastating legal blow, and the consequences could shatter the Labour Party's grip on power. A judge has ruled against her in a shocking election rigging case, exposing what many are calling the most brazen attempt to manipulate democracy in modern British history. The fallout is seismic. Public outrage is at an all-time high. Opposition leaders are demanding accountability, and even King Charles himself is reportedly furious over the scandal, with calls for her resignation growing louder by the hour. The question is no longer if Angela Rayner will step down, but when. Rayner stood in court visibly shaken as the judge delivered a verdict that sent shockwaves through British politics. The ruling was clear. Rayner had deliberately abused her power to manipulate local elections in a way that directly benefited the Labour Party, a move that the court deemed an unacceptable violation of democratic principles. The courtroom fell silent as the implications sank in. This was not just a political scandal, it was a legal and constitutional crisis. The case against Rayner had been building for weeks, with Reform UK, Conservative leaders, and legal experts arguing that the decision to postpone elections in 9 key council areas was nothing short of electoral interference. The government had excused the postponements by citing restructuring efforts, claiming elections were impractical at the time. However, the evidence presented in court painted a far darker picture. Documents and insider testimonies revealed that Labour had deliberately orchestrated the delay to prevent an expected surge in support for Reform UK. It was a calculated move designed to keep opposition parties from gaining ground in areas where voters were increasingly turning away from Labour. The judge's ruling dismantled Labour's defence. The court found that Rayner's actions had directly suppressed the democratic process and that her reasoning for postponing elections was politically motivated rather than administratively necessary. The verdict was scathing, branding her decision an abuse of power and a clear violation of electoral law. With this ruling, Labour's strategy had collapsed, and Rayner was now facing the consequences of what some were calling the biggest electoral scandal in decades. The immediate reaction was one of fury. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage, who had long warned of Labour's dirty tricks, declared it a victory for democracy, stating that Rayner had been caught red-handed attempting to rig the system in Labour's favour. The Conservative Party wasted no time piling on the pressure, with high-ranking officials calling for her immediate resignation. Even within Labour's own ranks, whispers of discontent were growing louder. Could this be the moment that finally brought down one of the party's most powerful figures? The scandal was not just political, it had royal implications as well. Reports quickly emerged that King Charles had been briefed on the verdict and was deeply concerned about the impact on the country's democratic integrity. Sources inside Buckingham Palace revealed that the king was furious over the situation, alarmed that such blatant electoral interference had taken place under his government's watch. Though the monarchy remains politically neutral, this level of scandal could not be ignored. The integrity of Britain's electoral system was now in question, and the king's reported frustration only added to the mounting pressure on Rayner to step down. Meanwhile, the public's reaction was explosive. Across social media, hashtags like #RaynerResign and #LabourElections began trending within hours of the ruling. Outraged citizens took to the streets demanding justice and calling for immediate by-elections in the affected council areas. Protesters gathered outside Parliament, chanting slogans like "Defend Democracy" and "No More Election Fraud." This was no longer just a scandal confined to political cycles. It had become a full-blown national crisis. As the political landscape shifts dramatically, the Labour Party finds itself at a crossroads. With public trust eroding and the pressure mounting, Angela Rayner's future as a political leader hangs in the balance. The implications of this verdict extend far beyond her personal career. They threaten to reshape the entire political landscape in the UK. The question remains, will Rayner step down gracefully, or will she attempt to fight back against the tide of public opinion and political pressure? One thing is certain. The fallout from this scandal will be felt for years to come, leaving a deep mark on British democracy.